You know? Now, this is a fascinating matchup. This is Tal, who is a dynamic genius, an attacking powerhouse, up against probably the best defensive player of all time. You can argue nowadays it's like Hikaru. Like, you know, you can argue that Hikaru is one of the most, best defensive. But at the time, Tigran Vartanovic Petrosyan was just on another level. So he played a French defense. This is a Winauer. And it's a line where black takes the knight, damages white's pawn structure. And we get into a very fascinating game where white is sort of pushed back, takes on d4, and this looks like a very dynamic, complicated position. And Tal is trying to make it that. I mean, Tal is trying to give up all his pawns, right? And then he's trying to create an attack. Yeah. Petrosyan knows better. He's like, I'm not going to get into all of that. Yep, look at Tal, just g4, just throwing all the pieces forward, taking on h5, opening up the g file to create some sort of attack. But again, Petrosyan, one of the best defensive players in the world, he's like, nope, look at this. I'm utilizing moves that don't even look possible. And now we're going to get stability. The position has stabilized. One of the best attacking players of that generation versus one of the best defenders. It's like sports. Right, it's like sports. I mean, it's like in tennis, a player has a tool that they like to use versus a tool of the opponent. It's hitting head on, right? Like what happens when the best offensive team in a sport plays the best defensive team? It's what we have now. We have stability. These pawns are kind of stuck. This pawn is stuck. Tal is going to try to put pressure over here. Can he blow Petrosyan just completely out of the water? I don't know. Queen g5. Petrosyan going for an endgame. He's giving away the pawn on g7. You see, if Petrosyan played king f8 here, then after rook g1, it's really difficult to defend this pawn, right? You're just gonna... So he's like, all right, take the pawn. Misha, take the pawn. You think I need the pawn? I don't need the pawn. Queen f8, let's trade queens. Misha's like, nope. Petrosyan's like, no, seriously, let's trade queens. Misha's like, nope, we're doing it on my terms. And Petrosyan knows if he can get the queens off, if he can get a little stability, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right in the long run. He gets the bishop into the game, all right? Petrosyan, Tal starts bringing his king. Now, the amazing thing here, Tal finds an idea that is wild. He finds a way to march his king into the center of the board. It's an endgame, but it's a very imbalanced endgame where there's a lot of like open lines to the other party. There's weird structures, like this pawn is here for some reason. It's kind of the remnants of playing a Winauer French. Right now, the move h6 is highly preferred by Stockfish. You can't take because of check, and I win the rook. But the other idea is to sneak the pawn to h7, after which black will be under a lot of pressure. Obviously, Tal has his reasons not to play this move. Probably thought it was a bit of an overcommitment. He probably didn't like that the pawn could become weak. So he brought his king. And he brought his king. And he brought his rook to seize control of the only open file. And then he tried to trade the knights. And his idea with trading the knights was very simple. He didn't care if he got taken or not. He just wanted to put his king in the center of the board. And now he's got a very, very pleasant edge. He's not up any pawns, but it feels that way because he's about to take one, right? Now, f5 was a major commitment. Instead, f6 is preferred by the modern day computer to try to basically absorb this very depressing position and say, I'm not going to lose. But f5, right? Tal had this way of making even the best and most reserved players in the world panic. And when this started happening, rather than buckling down and playing a pawn down endgame, Petrosyan lashed out. f5 was already a step in the wrong direction. He should have went f6. What was even worse than f5 was advancing with f4. He pushed f4, he opened up the diagonal, which now allows the pawn to go to h7 in the future, and that is exactly what Tal went for. He trades. There is a golden rule in endgames. If you want to win an endgame and there are 4 rooks on the board, 2 and 2, not 4 for you. If you're up 4 rooks, God bless. But if it's 2 and 2, trade 1. If you're trying to win, trade 1. Sometimes trading 2 is also fine. And what I mean by that is like in an endgame like this one, you can trade all the rooks because your outside pass pawn is so strong, but not always. But now h6. And now the king takes the pawn, the bishop goes to g6, and the way that Tal sets up a winning configuration here is incredible. Watch this. King d4, where's the breakthrough? Puts all his pawns on dark squares. Look at this quest that he fulfills. It's because the black bishop can't touch those pawns. And now, look at that. You can't take the bishop because I queen. You can't take the pawn because I take your pawn. He anchors the bishop here. Lifelong pressure will exist. He defends the pawn. And now it's just masterful. He gets there. And he ends this game in style of Tal. Take, take. The pawn's promoting. But Tal can't resist. He can't resist playing like this. It's a race. D5. Trying to break the bishop out of purgatory. Both sides are going to make queens. But it doesn't matter. Tal is up a bishop and 4 pawns. That's mate. And that's going to be mate very soon. Discovered attack. And there's nothing to be done. Queen c1. You can give me a million checks. My king goes all the way down the board. There's a way to get stalemated. But in this position, Tigran Petrosian resigns.